Who said Rangers Diamondbacks wasn't going to be any good? How about that thriller of a Game 1 and now Game 2 from Arlington, Texas? It's the Rangers trying to take command of this series while the Diamondbacks try to push it back to Phoenix, tied at a game apiece. How about 6 more of those just like last night? I'm John Smoltz, the Hall of Famer. I'm Joe Davis. One of the old baseball cliches is that momentum is as good as the next day's starting pitcher. Well, the Texas Rangers feel like they have the right guy to keep the good vibes rolling in Jordan Montgomery, while the Diamondbacks feel like Merrill Kelly's the perfect man to follow last night's tough loss.
Yeah, exactly. When you get to this time of the year, losses are something you deal with, but how you lose can sting a little bit more, and your next day starting pitcher can erase that. Of course, the Diamondbacks have had their losses, but none like last night. And so for both pitchers, look for them to pitch in similar ways with opposite hands. And for Montgomery, he's been really, really good for the Rangers. And of course, we're talking about Merrill Kelly trying to set the tone for the Diamondbacks. They were looking to find a win to go back home. Both guys pitched to the edges of the strike zone for them to be successful.
We saw a bunch of the stars deliver in last night's game, but there are still a couple stars for these lineups from throughout the year that have been missing in this postseason. We're talking Marcus Semien for the Rangers, Christian Walker for the D-backs, trying to get those guys going.
Everybody feels it when a guy is struggling, and to inject energy, that's exactly what would happen if these guys get going for their respective clubs. When you talk about the two guys that we're talking about, they're really, really important because they had great years. And when you've had a great year, high expectation, it doesn't happen in the postseason, you're asked all these questions. If either of these guys get going for their club, watch the offense respond.
All right, it was 6-5 Rangers in the first game. Haven't gotten anything from this guy yet. They are 3 wins away from the World Series win, and largely because of that man there. This time of year elevates guys, doesn't it? Well, it's taking Adolis Garcia to a new world. What does this man have in store for Game 2 after the Game 1 thriller? First pitch comes up on Fox.
Elevated. What you know is your routine.
It's just about the preparation. I feel like you're only as good as your routine.
In order for me to be a major league player, I have to have routine.
Thought precedes action, and repetition creates comfort.
Try to keep it the same.
I take 1,000,001 swings, and then I do the exact same routine.
Amidst the bright lights and chaos, if you remain disciplined,
That's what makes me feel prepared.
I keep doing the same.
Keep everything very consistent.
magic can happen.
Postseason, everybody's going to try to be a hero.
When I make those 2 taps on the plate, game time.
And Tommy Pham puts the D-backs in front. High drive, it's time!
It's a no-doubter.
Something that reminds me, I keep thinking on my hips.
Adolis Garcia, the legend, grows!
It's the World Series. Nothing changes.
Welcome to the 2023 World Series on Fox, presented by Capital One. Back inside here in Arlington, just about set for Game 2 as we go down to the field. Here's Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe, and welcome back to the greatest show on earth, also known as Adolis Garcia in the 2023 postseason. Last night, first World Series game, on base 5 times, stolen base, leaping catch at the wall, and oh yes, a walk-off homer in the 11th inning. Garcia already has set a single postseason record with 22 RBIs. Tonight, he can match Daniel Murphy's record of 6 straight postseason games with a home run. This is Carlos Beltran in 2004, David Ortiz in 2013, Bryce Harper last year. An October performance for the ages. Now over to Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks, Ken. Before the World Series, I asked Arizona pitching coach Brent Strom, what's your biggest concern? His answer? The Rangers won't chase as much as the Phillies, and his greatest fear was realized in Game 1. Arizona threw 124 pitches out of the strike zone, more than any point this year, and the Rangers did not chase. The Rangers are the best in baseball at staying off chase swings. Now tonight, Arizona gives the ball to Merrill Kelly, one of the 5 best pitchers in the game at keeping the ball on the edges of the zone. Joe, as Torey Lovello said, we are going to put the ball over the plate tonight.
with that man there, Merrill Kelly, and they'll try to put it in play with this lineup. Going to look a little bit different with the left-hander on the mound for the Rangers. Ketel Marte will lead things off for Torey Lovullo, and then it's Corbin Carroll sliding down just one spot. Gabriel Moreno has hit Jordan Montgomery hard in the times he's faced him, with Christian Walker trying to get him going out of the cleanup spot. Tommy Pham homered in game one. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. bats sixth, and then it's Alec Thomas, Evan Longoria, and Geraldo Perdomo rounding things out. Well, John, the Rangers made a move at the deadline, one of the big pitching moves when they got Max Scherzer. Oh, by the way, they got Jordan Montgomery as well, and all he's done is be one of the best pitchers in baseball since.
Yeah, he really has. I don't know what his heartbeat really is underneath that jersey, but he has seemed calm, confident, and in control. And these pitches that he's throwing, he has a great feel for every one of them, a great feel for his release point. And the only issue, first inning, he's been a little bit unnormal, and after that, you're not getting to him.
30-year-old out of Sumter, South Carolina, ready to go here in Game 2 of the World Series. And we take a look at tonight's FanDuel Live same-game parlay. Alec Thomas, who gets somewhat of a surprise start against a left-handed pitcher today. Need him to get an RBI. Need Josh Young to hit a home run, something he's done 3 times in this postseason. So 6-5 Rangers in a Game 1 thriller. Seager tied it in the 9th. Garcia won it in the 11th after the unsung bullpen pitched 6 1/3 scoreless innings. It had everything you want in a postseason game, in a World Series game. Here we go with Game 2.
Yeah, if you're going to bounce back, I think Arizona has a chance to be very aggressive like they did against the Dodgers. Try to jump on the Rangers early, a strike throw in Montgomery. See how aggressive their game plan is against Montgomery tonight.
Marte climbs in. Montgomery out of the stretch at all times. Off we go with a first pitch breaking ball, anticipating the aggressiveness. One pitch, one out.
Well, that quick pace that they like to play at, and the reason they're here is they were able to do that successfully against some of the best in the game, and a shock to the system. So that one might have been out of the zone. The curveball is a good first pitch when you're anticipating an aggressive style offense.
Now, you're talking about the style of this offense, and it was an Arizona prototype early last night. A lot of pressure put on, a little bit of pop, but they went 1 for their last 18. And the 6-5 defeat. Here's Corbin Carroll. Of course, had his hand in things early. Had the 2-run triple. Saw him race home from third to score a run. Other than that, though, was limited, going 1 for 5.
I'm always enamored. 285 against lefties, 285 against righties. So on the year, he's hitting 285, but he prefers the right-handers for power and the complete package.
23-year-old rookie takes downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jordan Montgomery on the mound for the Rangers tonight, winning pitcher in relief. Game 7 of the championship series after he started Game 1, started Game 5. 2-0 with a 2.16 this postseason.
Now Montgomery, I mentioned how cool he seems. He's so cool that he gets that pitch clock down to 1, and my heart gets nervous thinking he's going to get a violation. But he can see the pitch clock as every pitcher can, and he uses it to his advantage and usually gets right close to that, right around 1.
Icing him.
Yeah.
Dealing just in time, 2-2. He's not the most athletic guy. His nickname in college was Gumby because he was long and lumbering, but he's smooth.
Yeah, and when I talk about connected to your mechanics, that means you can have a great feel and sense for all your pitches. You're going to hit your locations, and I'll talk about the field goal post as the strike zone tonight for both pitchers.
2-2 below the crossbar.
Yeah, when you think about the field goal post, you think about the 2 going up uprights, and then you got the crossbar, and on the bottom of the zone is going to be the crossbar where each pitcher, I will say Merrill Kelly will advance it up more than Montgomery, but they want to hit the goal posts.
Carroll's worked it full. Got to keep this guy off of the bases if you're the Rangers. Here's a payoff, and there's a soft bouncing ball to second. That'll test Simeon. Gets rid of it in time. 2 out. Take a look at how the umpires set up here for Game 2. Behind home plate is Quinn Wolcott, who graded out as the #1 ball and strike guy that's ever been graded. So we're talking about a decade of using all the StatCast data to grade umpires, and the 37-year-old Wolcott, the best they've ever tracked.
Someone's got to be it, right?
Somebody's
not him.
That's it. Hey, started umpiring when he was 19. Most guys going off to college. He went to umpiring school. Yeah, kind of an umpiring prodigy back there. Ball one on Moreno. And Moreno against Montgomery, 4 for 7 with a home run. And it's going to be interesting, John, because Jordan Montgomery faced these Diamondbacks twice this year, and he had his best start and his very worst start against them.
Well, the good news is his best start was right here at home. So that's step one. And anytime, you're pitching in the World Series, and there's the first inning numbers, a little bit, only 4 runs he's given up. But after that, he has not really wavered.
Here's 1-1 pitch. Just misses.
I always felt like, man, if you could pass the baton on to your teammate and give him a good scenario like last night, game 1, it's much easier to pitch 1-0 than it is 0-1. And you just want to keep doing that, obviously, as long as you can. And then for Arizona, of course, you want to flip that script and turn it over to the rookie in game 3. 1-1.
Brandon Pfaadt, who will start first game back in Phoenix. It's going to be Kelly tonight. Moreno had a rough first game, 0 for 5 with 3 Ks. One of the stars of this postseason for the Diamondbacks, the young catcher. And the count goes full. This team's been here before. These Diamondbacks came back to win the championship series. Texas Rangers 3 wins away from their first World Championship. Montgomery looking for a 1-2-3 first.
I think it's so interesting, the narrative. People won't admit it, but when the Rangers left here, I almost guarantee the majority of the fans here is like, we're not going to see him again until next year. When the Diamondbacks went to Philly, golly, I hope we see him again. And both are going to get their wishes.
Here's another payoff pitch. Moreno skies it into shallow center field. This massive ballpark. We'll watch it fall down to Marcus Semien. 1-2-3 first inning for Jordan Montgomery. Off and rolling in game 2. Out this lineup, Semien, Seager, and Carter at the top. Garcia, Garver, and Heim in the heart of the lineup with Lowe, Young, and Taveras to round things out. And it is 35-year-old Merrill Kelly out of Scottsdale, Arizona, pitching for his hometown team in the World Series, and he pitched in a big game in Philly. Game 6, Diamondbacks facing elimination. Didn't have his best stuff, John, but fought through those 5 innings and got the win.
Yeah, he's a bulldog mentality. He believes he's the right man on the mound no matter who he's facing. And you see the pitch mix. He's got a lot of buttons on the pitch comm that are going to get pushed. But what he's going to try to do is use arm side sink and glove side breaking balls.
First one to Marcus Semien is at the knees.
And he can mix up his fastballs with a 4-seam, 2-seam, and a cutter. And so he's going to want to keep this lineup guessing on what pitch is coming and what location.
Here's his 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Tom Bertucci's mentioning it. This team, last couple games in Philadelphia, relied on chases and got them to beat the Phillies. Now, this Rangers team does not chase, and last night walked 10 times. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Example of it right there. Semien not going after it. So they threw as many strikes as they did against the Phillies in game 7, but just didn't get the same kind of chase and didn't get the results. 2-2.
What they did is exactly what this count is being, a lot of early strike counts that turned into either hits or walks and men on base, and that's the key to tonight. When you get 0-2, you've got to put away the hitter.
Semien able to stay alive.
Now he has an interesting changeup you just saw right there. It's firm. It's 90 miles an hour, and his fastball can get up to 96. So the variance is not as big as you would think, but the way he throws it and the late movement that he has, he's not afraid to throw it to any side of the plate.
Tries another 2-2. Semien grounds it foul. Here's one of the guys, John, we talked about right off at the top. These two teams trying to get their stars going, and I know you got stars doing things, but there are a couple where it's like, when is this going to happen for a guy like Marcus Semien, who's hitting just 190 this postseason? He's fouled off a few to stay alive, waits for another 2-2 and chases strike 3. That's where teams have gone.
They've stayed away, and nothing that Semien has done to change the scouting report. Unless the teams have made a mistake, he is at the mercy of that pitch away, and he has not gone away. He's not gone to right field very often looking to pull, and that's what happens when you look to pull.
One gone first inning. Corey Seager, who started Game 7 of the championship series with a home run and then saved Game 1 of the World Series with a home run. High pitching.
You got to soft speed him a little bit. You got to have that off speed, and then maybe he went with a sinker away, but you cannot attack the middle and top of the zone right now.
Pop fly, shallow center field. Perdomo's got it spotted.
Did I just say soft speed? I did, I think.
I think you made a new thing.
I made a new word, so we're going to stick with that. Soft speed is the key to getting Seager out. That was a changeup.
Honestly, it sounded so good and smooth. I was like, maybe that's just a thing I haven't heard, but it's got to be a thing. 2 gone in this first inning, and up comes Evan Carter, the unshakable Evan Carter has reached base in all 13 games in his first postseason at the age of 21. Got 2 doubles yesterday. 8 of them this postseason, tied for the record.
Already it looks like Merrill Kelly has much better command. Now granted, this is a dome and in good conditions. Philadelphia outdoors, maybe a little nervous Game 6, and the conditions changed his location, but he is coming out firing, and that's what you got to do. You got to be bold and smart against the Texas Rangers because of what they can do, how quickly they can do it.
Top offense in the American League during the regular season. They've been the same in this postseason. 26 runs their last 3 games. Carter got jammed, and it's 1-2.
Now that's that cutter. It doesn't have tremendous movement, but you see the late break at the end just gets inside to a left-hander's. Cutter's in, and he'll bury that in. He'll sink it away, and then he'll work on 2 lanes. He's trying to stay out of the middle, and he wants to work on 2 lanes in and out to each hitter.
And halfway to the plate, the hitter thinks it's the same pitch.
Right. It's not the most light up the gun pitch, but it has good spin that allows the hitter to not recognize it.
He's one of the top pitchers in the league this season. Finished 6th in ERA, top 10 in wins. He's home with a 1-2, and he strikes him out with a cutter to the knees. Merrill Kelly set the tone with a 1-2-3 first. Text predict to 5959559 by the start of the 3rd inning for a chance to up your game. 1, 2, 3 first innings on both sides. On to the 2nd we go for Jordan Montgomery to face the heart of this D-backs lineup. That is their struggling hitter that we talked about right off at the top. Christian Walker 0 for 4 with 3 Ks in Game 1 and now 2 for his last 26. Guy that led him in home runs during the regular season takes strike 1. Montgomery coming back inside with the 0-1. It's a soft bouncing ball to Corey Seager. And Montgomery's retired the first 4.
Well, in the first inning, Montgomery got 3 outs on 3 different pitches. So did Kelly. So the mix and match game and the cat and mouse game will be pretty much as long as they're able to stay in this game. And Montgomery just again knows how to pitch and doesn't have to rely on it being the best stuff in the world. And for this team, they're going to be aggressive. He makes a good pitch with his sinker. He's going to give up a lot of ground balls.
Tommy Pham went deep in Game 1. 3 of his last 29, but he's made those hits count. 2 of the 3 hits have been homers. And he takes strike 1 from Montgomery, who you have liked, John, back to his Yankee days, Jordan Montgomery, but he's a different guy at this point.
He is a different guy, exclusively out of the stretch, which is...
Soft tapper here, going to test Young. Bare hands his only chance, and it's an infield hit. Tommy Pham, the first base runner of the day.
Again, I just think the environment he pitched in New York is different than any other environment. Of course, that's kind of tough to make those comparisons as if when he pitched in St. Louis, that's a totally different ballpark. But I think he's in a groove right now that every starting pitcher would love to be in at the height of the postseason, and no better time right now for the Rangers than what he's doing.
Debuted in 2017 for the Yankees. Full few years there. Gurriel takes strike one. And they got traded to the Cardinals last year. The Yankees didn't see him as part of their postseason rotation, so they traded him. And have watched him from afar blossom into this big game pitcher for Texas. Now, he's not done a great job controlling the running game this year. Phams at first, he's got good wheels. Gurriel slaps into second, should be 2, 4, 6, 3 is. Couple scoreless innings out of the gates for Jordan Montgomery. Mutual. Guess who it's on? Adolis Garcia with one swing last night set the all-time record for RBIs in a postseason. Hit a home run for a 5th consecutive game. Most importantly, one game won for the Texas Rangers. And man, you turn on the TV, eyes wide, just wondering what he's going to do next.
Yeah, his hips are so important, and when they explode too fast, he expands the zone and swings too big. But when they stay in, man, there's not a stronger, more electrifying hitter to both parts of the field with power.
First pitch from Merrill Kelly is in there for a strike. If you're a pitcher, have you not gotten to the point where you've said, I've seen enough, I'm just not going to give this guy anything?
No doubt, because it's a tough task, because you can get a lot of swing and misses and strike him out, but right now he's not in that mode.
Chopper, Longoria. Garcia's retired. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Round out your protection with life, phone, and pet health insurance. Next, we've seen him chase, and throughout the regular season, he'll go through stretches where he chases everything. But he's looked a whole lot more disciplined, and you just wonder if this is a different guy. I know I hear you talk about, like, yeah, you get your scouting reports long term, but then you see what guys are doing.
Yeah, you got to react. You got to adjust.
Here's Garver, strike one.
And right now, Kelly is doing a really good job at establishing his fastball command for strikes, and his non-fastballs, he gets a lot of ground balls on the year. 3rd highest in baseball on ground balls.
And slider for a strike.
And it's just the little things, right? That little slider, that little movement off the same lane of the fastball. Then he'll occasionally throw a breaking ball. He hasn't given up a home run on a changeup in the regular season. He did give up one in the postseason, but think about that. So you got a pitch you can go to at any point that in your arsenal that you haven't given up damage to, or at least a home run. That's rare.
Facing a guy here in Garver who quietly has had an excellent postseason for the Rangers. Now on a 1-2 pitch. Pops it up. Been a few of those already. Longoria the call and the catch. So where did Merrill Kelly come from? I mean, really out of nowhere. He was an 8th-round draft pick of the Tampa Bay Rays. Didn't make it to the major leagues, and the Rays cut him loose. He's saying, I want to keep pitching, but nobody seems to want me here. So he goes to Korea and spends 4 years in Korea, making himself into the pitcher or close to that he is now, to get his first big league opportunity at the age of 30. Jonah High cracks this one high in the air to right center field, but he just got under it, and it tumbles down to Thomas to end the inning. Baseball fans, your phone upgrade is on deck. Get the freedom to upgrade every year with Go 5G Next and up your game with T-Mobile. Back here in Arlington, Texas, Game 2 of the World Series, and no score as Alek Thomas leads off against Jordan Montgomery. And rips a line drive into right field for a base hit, justifying his manager's faith and confidence starting him against a left-handed pitcher, because that's not always an automatic thing. But Torey Lovullo saying, I feel like this is going to be a low-scoring game where we're going to need his defense and we're going to need his ability to get on and wreak havoc.
Yeah, he hasn't had much success against left-handers, and especially on first pitch, but he put that to bed on the first pitch against Montgomery. And now the thought, whether he runs or not, is going to be there for Montgomery with a leadoff hit. When the D-backs got leadoff hitters on yesterday, they scored.
Thomas stole a bag yesterday. Here's Longoria laying a bunt down to advance him into scoring position, and a fastball over to first. One away. So 2 games and 2 sacrifice bunts for these Diamondbacks down at the bottom of the order.
That was more going to be almost a bunt for base hit, because the sacrifice guy is up at the plate right now, and so Longoria probably tried to sneak attack him there and catch everybody sleeping, and he just absolutely bunted it back to the pitcher. He's trying to get it to the third base side, and it works as a sacrifice, but I guarantee he's trying to get a base hit.
So here's the guy you're talking about that is a specialist at laying bunt downs. He did so yesterday. He led the majors in sacrifice bunts this year. Kind of a throwback bottom of the order guy, and has done it to perfection lately. Not just the sacrifices, but he's got a 5-game hitting streak going. This 0-1 shows spot and takes a strike.
So the Diamondbacks have a unique blend. They can hit for power, but they have the ability to stay patient and then get ultra aggressive. It's not helter-skelter all the time. It's controlled aggression, and they'll pick their spots. If you don't pay attention to him at second, Thomas will go to third.
Montgomery's home with their own 2. That's high. And they just kind of lean on you, don't they? Just constant pressure and wait for it to crack. Arizona looking for the early lead after the heartbreaking loss in Game 1. There's the toss back to second.
And see, just that energy right there for a starting pitcher. When you play baseball for most of his time and base running was not a big thing, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be quick to the plate. Well, all of a sudden this year, all the pitchers that are not very good at it get exposed. If you're good at it, you're good at it for the whole time of your career.
Good lead back there for Thomas. Hopping around. He's not going. Here's the ground ball left side. And the whole Seager crosses trying to get Perdomo. Gold Glove finalist for good reason. Up to third goes Thomas.
So even in this situation, right, most people say, you shouldn't give away an out to get a runner at second base. And I get it in theory, but in the postseason, you want to put pressure on the teams. Now there's pressure on a man behind the plate to block pitches. You got a runner on third with speed. An infield hit can score a run now. There's a variety of ways to get runners in without necessarily hitting a home run.
So what this team has done for a lot of this season, winning games 90 feet at a time. Ketel Marte grounded out on the first pitch of the game on a curve. Here he gets a fastball and watches it.
Well, Montgomery again, now 9 out of 10 first pitch strikes. That eases pressure at this time of year, puts you in a good situation against the hitters who are going to be aggressive.
Here's the 0-1. Marte takes down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. MVP of the National League Championship Series at the plate in Ketel Marte, one of their longest tenured players. Thomas at third, 2 out. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Marte pops it up, center field. Taveras is there. And Arizona strands a man at third. Middle 3 in Game 2 and no score. Wear what the players are wearing on field during the postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, t-shirts, and more. And root your favorite team on at MLBshop.com. Nathaniel Lowe leads off the third and takes a ball from Merrill Kelly.
Do you have a age requirement where you can no longer wear a jersey as a fan, or does it not matter to you?
I mean, I can't say I've worn one in a while, but no, like, man, you get your team in the World Series first time.
I agree.
Right?
I think that's when you can, you know, be a kid again.
You got a cutoff? I mean, yours was about 40.
I think they just asked that young man to take his hat off. They couldn't see anything.
2 balls and a strike on Lowe. Well, lost in the late inning madness yesterday. It was a key defensive play from Lowe in the 5th inning. His team was already down 5-3. This big Baltimore chop over there, he made a great play on to keep a 6th run from coming in. And Arizona had just 1 hit the rest of the way. It's a guy who has gotten so much better defensively. In fact, he's gone from the worst defensive first baseman in baseball by one measure to one of the best. And he's a Gold Glove finalist this year. Leading off this 3rd against Kelly. A 2-2 pitch, hit foul.
We knew this was going to be a compelling World Series just based on the way teams do things. And obviously the Diamondbacks go about it a different way. I always look at things that might not show up, right? The 7, 8, 9 hitters. Who wins the battle of the 7, 8, 9 hitters? Because the longer and the deeper the lineup is, the harder it is to get through. And during the year, the Rangers were pretty good in the bottom of that lineup. And even though last night the D-backs did win that, they were 4 for 12, Rangers 2 for 12. I think that will be a theme to look at as the series plays on. If you get that out of the bottom of your lineup, whoo, man.
Strike 3 called, and Merrikelly's retired the first 7 that he's faced. And it's time for the pitcher profile, sponsored by Google Pixel. We're telling you a little bit about Merrikelly's backstory. Started out at a junior college after he went to Desert Mountain High School, and then on to Arizona State. Drafted by the Rays, never made it to the big leagues with Tampa Bay, so he goes to Korea, pitches 4 seasons there, gets a chance with his hometown team, and now in his 5th season with the Diamondbacks. He, of course, started the championship game for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. Gets a strike there on Josh Young. Here's his 0-1. That is a little bit outside. For more on Kelly, here's Kenny.
Well, Joe, off the field, Kelly is so unassuming and laid back. His wife, Bree, sometimes gets upset with him, thinking he doesn't care about anything. But Mark DeRosa, Kelly's manager with Team USA, says he actually has a massive chip on his shoulder because his journey has been filled with doubters. He never threw hard, never was a big prospect. The Rays did not protect him on their 40-man roster in 2014, and no other team wanted him. He was so discouraged, he went to Korea.
And turned himself around, gave himself a chance. Here's Young hooking a ball down the line, but foul. You mentioned something, John, right when we introduced Kelly. So important in a game like this. He believes he's the baddest dude on the field.
Absolutely. And he doesn't want to come out. And there's been some battles between he and his manager understands it. He would rather have it no other way. But he said it's not personal and it's not about you. At the postseason, we may do some things a little bit different. But he loves that kind of attitude. He'd rather have that than a guy that's like, oh, shucks, I don't know if I'm any good. And, you know, that's what you got to believe. He believes when he went to the World Baseball Classic, he was the best pitcher on Team USA. You got to have that chip on your shoulder and use it in the right moments and in the right way.
In his first World Series game, he's retired the first 7. Hot shot, Perdomo. He's retired the first 8. Yeah, so he threw 90 pitches and beating the Phillies the other day, and then Torey Lovullo took him out. And Torey said, look, this guy is old school in the very best way. It doesn't matter if he had thrown 90 pitches or 190 pitches. He's not going to want to come out of the game. After he had taken him out, he heard Kelly making some noise down in the tunnel, throwing some stuff around, frustrated, and he looked down there, and Kelly gave him the sign like, come here, I want to talk to you. And Torey goes down there, and he's like, what? And he says, just tell me why you took me out. I want to know why you took me out. And he took him through the decision-making process. And Kelly, after calming down a little bit, said, okay. And then he came up to Torey and tried to take Torey's hand, and Torey said, no, come here, come in here for the real thing, and hugged him.
Yeah, he's a hugger.
Taveras swings and misses. Nasty changeup, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, Taveras, that is the pitch right there. That changeup he just doesn't see, and he swings over the top of a lot of them. And this changeup, I talked about it. It's firm. It's got movement.
Kelly rocks and fires an 0-2. He throws another changeup, and it's a good one to get a swing and a miss. And he's got bookend K's on a 1-2-3 third. And he's got Corbin Carroll leading things off for his offense when we come back for the 4th. Got a pitcher's duel going so far in game 2 after the Rangers came back to win it in extras last night. Just 2 singles against Jordan Montgomery. Corbin Carroll flips the first one that he sees into center field. Out goes Seager. He gets there. And on one pitch, they get Carroll.
Well, each manager couldn't ask for a better start after a long game. 11 innings. The pitchers are efficient. They're on their game. They're setting the tone. And hopefully that means they don't have to go too deep into a bullpen that yesterday was worked pretty hard.
Yeah, how about the Texas bullpen yesterday? I mean, the Stars provided the lasting moments with the big swings late, but it was the bullpen that set that all up. 6 1/3 scoreless innings, even though it was really the B bullpen because they were playing from behind for a lot of it. Of course, they got Leclerc in for 2 innings at the end. It's a ball on Moreno, but a bullpen that had been the biggest issue for the Rangers and the biggest reason for concern coming into the World Series. Probably the biggest reason they won that game last night.
Yeah, we've documented and told you about all the injuries the Rangers have had, but guys got healthy at the right time and are contributing. John Gray, man, he's a starter and was a starter until he got hurt. And you think about, again, what the Rangers could have had, what they were building to have. They were going to win with their arms, and their arms got beat up and hurt, and their offense has carried much of the freight.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Moreno. Montgomery's coming inside with his 1-2, and it backs him off of the plate. Count evens up.
Just the way Heim handles, he's a taller catcher, but the way he sets up his target and just flashes it and shows the pitcher, come on, get it in here, look at this target, makes it very convenient.
2-2. Inspires some confidence in you on the mound, doesn't it?
I honestly think, not to every pitcher's eyes, but it was so important to me as a pitcher to have an inviting target, and the way that they set it up with their hand, the way that they have. And then look, his pitch is going to get right there. It's perfect. And he'll drop the target after the pitcher delivers it. But man, the way a catcher sets up, invites it. Some guys do it obviously a lot better than most.
Here's another 2-2. He wants it down. That's where it is. Moreno takes it, and the count is full. And we go down to Tom Verducci.
The Rangers have stolen more strikes, pitches out of the zone called strikes, than any team in baseball the last 2 years. Bobby Wilson, their catching instructor, instructs his catchers to keep that thumb down to give a target. The old school way, the thumb was up, and that would pull the glove down. Much easier to stick the pitch with the thumb pointing down.
Here's the payoff. That was where Heim's value was almost entirely prior to this breakout season offensively. They traded for him from Oakland, and he was a defensive first catcher, graded out well as a framer, big bodied catcher, good arm, and has maintained those abilities as he's added the bat, become an all-star. Coming inside, that's where the target is set for this 3-2, and Moreno hits it in the air to left center field. Tavares and Carter on the move. That ball is gone. Gabriel Moreno hits it out, and the Diamondbacks strike first in game 2. On the 8th pitch of the at-bat, the latest in a postseason full of big swings for him.
Well, there's where they wanted it, right? They wanted to go inside and try to lock it up, and by locking it up, they did not get it there. That pitch was probably right down the middle, and when you get it inside, you get it off the barrel of the bat, but when you throw it right down the middle, it turns into a ball you're not going to use again, and the Diamondbacks glad that Moreno took advantage of that.
1-0, and now it's Walker down the line, gets robbed by a diving stop from Josh Young. Oh, what a play! And for Christian Walker, when it rains, it pours.
We've seen this now. We've seen Young make some terrific plays, and none better than this. I mean, whew. Walker, not the most fleet of foot, but he's not slow either. And this is a reward to not only the bench, but the pitcher.
So 2 gone in this 4th inning. And now Tommy Pham punches one down the line. It'll sneak by low. Pham makes the turn, heads for second, and will get there easily with a 2-out double. Some pop from the Diamondbacks in this 4th inning. Home run and now a double for Pham.
Well, other than Moreno, everybody has been ultra aggressive. That's what we thought we'd see. Now this gets a little bit not lucky, but he hits it down where there's nobody out. He goes with the pitch and gets rewarded for a double, and that's what the Diamondbacks have to do. They have to take advantage of their early swings and put as much stress on Montgomery and the Rangers as possible.
Well, Young's great defensive play looms extra large now. Saved a run. Runner at second, 2 out. Gurriel takes low. So Arizona scraping itself off of the deck after the gut punch in game 1 to take the lead in game 2. The team that has been here before has come back to win the championship series. They were in a worse place in that championship series, down 2-0. That's hooked into left field. Gurriel with a base hit. Here comes Pham. Here comes Carter's throw. It's cut off. Throw back to first, not in time. 2-0 Diamondbacks. Gurriel drives in Pham.
Gurriel is such a good fastball hitter. He gets one inner half again, trying to bury this pitch in. And just a difference of getting the barrel out and hooking it to left field. 2 outs, the runner gets to go, so an easy jump. And right now the Diamondbacks are doing what they've done all year. They put the ball in play, not a lot of swings and misses so far, 0 against Montgomery.
It was a little surprising to see them swing and miss as much as they did last night. High strikeout total. In fact, the highest strikeout total they've had in this postseason. None of them so far. And 2 in the bank in game 2. Now it's Alek Thomas who attacked the first pitch that he saw and ripped the base hit into right field. Some of the first adversity that Montgomery's faced in this postseason. Young on the grass at third, protecting against the bunt. Always a threat. Curve misses.
Interesting approach here, and you know, lefty on left is not the easiest thing, but see how deep he is in the box when he stands in. Some people believe you're on left-hander, you want to get that ball before it breaks. He's as far back in the box as you can get and letting that ball travel.
One ball, one strike. So if you're trying to get it before it breaks by standing in the front of the box, what advantage are you getting by standing in the back?
Yeah, you see it longer and you're trying to get the sink, you know, but sometimes if that pitch, if he bears in on that pitch and throws it inside, it'll eat you up a little bit more, but that's where he's comfortable. Guys don't switch according to a pitcher anymore. They put their feet in the box, they stay there.
Curve hit on the ground to first and low to the bag to finish off to fourth, but the Diamondbacks strike first in game 2. It's the young catcher, Gabby Moreno, crushing his 4th home run of the postseason. Pham and Gurriel combined to make it 2-0. Diamondbacks trying to get this series back to Phoenix, locked at a game apiece. Man, what a player this 23-year-old catcher Gabby Moreno is. First full season in the big leagues. Strike 1 on Marcus Semien. And how about Merrill Kelly, John? This guy's been almost perfect so far. In fact, as far as the box score goes, he is.
Yeah, he is cool right now, even chewing some gum. I could never do that, by the way.
There's a high fly ball to left field. Gurriel's drifting back on it, and Semien just missed it. Down to the Arizona dugout. Tom Verducci's got Torey Lovello.
Nice show. Torey, Merrill Kelly so far. The results obviously good. What stands out? What do you like?
Yeah, he's pounding the zone. He's getting ahead in count. So he's got a really good changeup tonight as well.
Offensively, your hitters have jumped on pitches early in the count. Was that a point of emphasis coming in?
You know, we had a good game plan. Montgomery's locked in. He's working a certain part of the plate. That was our target. We were trying to figure out where he's going to throw most of his pitches, and that's what we're zeroed in on.
Thanks, Torrey.
Thank you.
Corey Seager now drives a liner to center field, right in Thomas's tracks. Very quick. 2 outs to begin this 4th inning. And tonight's telecast is sponsored by T-Mobile, America's largest and fastest 5G network. And by Taco Bell. Steal a base, steal a taco is back. Merrill Kelly's retired the first 11 Rangers. And now Evan Carter took strike 3 called his first time. Fastball right to the corner.
So we talked about it. You said in the open, you know, I've always believed, you know, you have a huge moment like that. Team's on an emotional high, winning a game. That momentum, oh, it's going to carry over. Here we go. Well, that momentum gets disrupted by the next day starting pitcher.
Crack that flare, shallow center field. Thomas coming on, and there's the first hit of the game for Texas. A 2-out single from the rookie Evan Carter.
And that's what Merrill Kelly has come out for his team and said, okay, stinger last night, didn't feel good. I'm going to impose my way and then get the team to get a lead, which they've done. And that's how you change the narrative from the night before. It's the next day starting pitcher. Well, he won't use that bat again, but it went down a base hit. Looks like a line drive in the scorebook.
His postseason spotlight again finds the muscle man, Adolis Garcia. Stars all over the field. This guy stands alone. He is the show. Adolis Garcia. I mean, even when he's just walking to the plate, there's a glow about him.
Well, he's huge.
That could be it too.
And he definitely can go to right field. A lot of opposite field home runs. And he's actually a much better breaking ball hitter than we give him credit for, because a lot of those swings and miss can be on breaking balls.
On this 1-0, flies it to right field, and the fans watching that ball with their hearts as Carroll waits for it to come down, and it ends the inning. 4 scoreless for Kelly, and we're back after a word from your local Fox station. The 2023 World Series on Fox is presented by Capital One, and it has been gripping so far. The Rangers and the Diamondbacks, 2 surprise teams, 2 party crashers. And what a party they threw last night. 6-5 in 11 innings to the Rangers, and so far pitchers duel in this one. Evan Longoria takes ball 1 from Jordan Montgomery. Top of the 5th, 2-0 Diamondbacks.
It's one thing to talk about a game plan and get in a hitter's meeting, and it's another thing to execute it. So far, the aggressiveness of the Diamondbacks, for most of them, is only lasting 2 pitches per at-bats as far as they're aggressive and swinging. Now, Moreno's seen the most, and he did that damage on a 3-2 fastball that quite didn't get inside. So Montgomery knows that. You know that right out of the gate, and you try to adjust accordingly and make those pitches to get quick outs.
Facing the veteran Longoria here, who sacrificed officially his first time. I know you said it looked like he was trying to bunt for a hit. His first sacrifice bunt in the scorebook in 9 years, and just the second in his 16 big league seasons. So yeah, I'd say you're probably right. He's looking to bunt his way aboard. Served as a sacrifice, though.
Now, the thing that'll be talked about after the game, if it kind of goes the way it's going, is, you know, the difference between the 2 starters tonight. Montgomery had to come in out of relief and pitch in that game, and of course that's not a normal rest, or it interrupts that normal 5-day, you know, starter routine, and so maybe just a little bit lagging.
Seager.
And that
Gone in this 5th inning. Hey, earlier this evening, Boys and Girls Clubs American National Youth of the Year, Alejandra, was lucky enough to spend some time with our Fox studio group. Got to meet A-Rod, meet the other guys, and then she delivered the game ball to the mound. And then how about Pearl Peterson?
Oh, man, you talk about delivering in the moment. She delivered. She was up here just hanging with us like 10 minutes before. singing the national anthem. No big thing.
She's from tiny Scrim, Washington. This was her big chance, and she absolutely
crushed
delivered. You were so right. She was up here 20 minutes before the game, and I'm like, I'm a little nervous. You know, World Series game coming. And she's getting ready to sing the national anthem. She's like, I'm a little nervous, but man, she had moxie and killed it. Geraldo Perdomo with one away, grounds this one foul. No balls and 2 strikes quickly on Perdomo. Bounced out his first time. Off day tomorrow. Series shifts to the desert. Game 3 on Monday. It's time of year I got to remind myself what day it is. It's like you wake up and see college football, and that's your calendar. The NFL. Today is Saturday, folks. 0-2 to Perdomo. Check swing and a ball in the dirt. He was able to lay off. Rest of the schedule for this World Series, just so you can make plans, Halloween plans. You got a costume ready, big guy?
Every day.
Yeah?
That's what you're saying.
It's boring.
I'll put on a wig, maybe.
Okay, that would fool me. Montgomery's 1-2 pitch. The curve that Perdomo's able to stay alive on, and he's saying to himself, get him up. So raise his hand in the air. Perdomo leaves it upstairs. This guy right here is one of the most improved players in baseball. Last year, by on-base plus slugging, he was the single worst hitter in the sport. He was an all-star this year, and he's continued that arc in his first postseason. Couple home runs after he hit 6 all regular year. On a 2-2 for Montgomery, Perdomo has another base hit into center field, extending his hitting streak to 6 games.
See, I was talking about arm speed and maybe being a little bit lacking, and it affects command. He's so good at getting the ball in. See where the target was, see where it ended up. Every one of those mistakes, the Diamondbacks have taken advantage of it, and that can be the difference between being sharp, Montgomery, and just a little bit off. Arm speed, a little out of, getting a little tired because of the last job he had to do in relief, and then getting ready for this start.
6th hit for Arizona. Perdomo's aboard. Back to the top and Ketel Marte. He swats his first one off the end of the bat in the shallow center field. Simeon is out, makes the call on the catch. Back to first goes Perdomo, and down to the field we go. Here's Ken.
Well, John, that relief appearance in Game 7 of the ALCS certainly appears to be taking a toll on Montgomery. His velocity is down across the board and almost 2 miles per hour on both his 2-seam fastball and 4-seam fastball. Last 4 hits on one of the 2 fastballs.
Yeah, and again, that can make sense when you've gone this long in the postseason and you're asked to come out of a vital role, which he did, and then make Game 2 start. You know, we saw the open of our game and the tease of how creatures of habit do the same thing. Well, he had to do something a little bit different, and sometimes that's all it takes, just be just a little bit off.
2 outs. Corbin Carroll 1 for 7 in this World Series. Montgomery's 0-1 pitch outside. And we've seen Montgomery division series wild card round so good, the stuff so live that he would just toy with him.
Yeah,
like he was doing whatever he wanted.
And the 0 strikeouts represent that. He's not a high strikeout pitcher, but when he's on, he's going to strike out 3 to 6 in almost every game.
Can get one when he needs one.
Right.
He only has 1 swing and miss tonight. Take it 2.
And he's relied heavily on that changeup, and that changeup's a great pitch, but the fastballs has been missing just a little bit of life and a little bit of command. And oh, by the way, he's only given up 2 runs, so it's credit to his counterpart who's on the other side dealing in Merrill Kelly.
Montgomery fires the 1-2. Carroll chops it foul. Now, Texas in this postseason, the equation has been win the games that these guys start, that Eovaldi and Montgomery start. They were able to win last night, even though Eovaldi gave up 5 runs. First time he's really been touched up in this postseason. Perdomo over there at first. Montgomery, another 1-2. There goes the runner. Pitches high. Throw from Heim is late and a stolen base. Diamondbacks are 18 for their last 18 on the bases.
Well, this was a great jump, and the pitch was just a little bit up, which is a good throwing pitch. That just tells you what kind of jump he got.
So into scoring position for Carroll. Two. Bounces. Good stop by Heim.
Now, the only thing you don't want to do, Perdomo does not want to be bouncing around too much, because that'll mess up his hitter. He's already been in scoring position. You don't want to be jockeying back and forth, because that's the sight line of the hitter, and he was doing that just a little bit because he had such a huge lead. He almost contemplating going to third.
I tell you what, I wonder if Corbin Carroll reaches, if this is going to be it for Montgomery. Scott Dunning warming, and the home run hitter Moreno on deck. Visit coming here from Heim, and a quick word from Capital One.
We need a clutch hit. Derek Jeter.
Hang in there, rookie.
Got the rookie up there. And Carroll, face of these Diamondbacks, already done so much. And is here in the big leagues. He's already going to become their first Rookie of the Year ever. And he's got him in the World Series for the first time in 22 years. And he had just turned 1. Perdomo at second. 2 gone in the 5th. Here comes the payoff pitch.
I know.
After time, it's continuing to bleed that clock down. Arizona got 2 in the 4th. 2-out chance in the 5th with their star at the plate. Corbin Carroll pops it up left side of the diamond, and Montgomery's going to get out of this as Young makes the play. Halfway home in game 2. 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Don't want to miss out? Just tell Siri. Show me the MLB schedule.
Only game in town at this stage. Game 2 of the World Series as Mitch Garver leads off and takes strike 1 from Merrill Kelly, who's given up just 1 bloop hit through 4 scoreless innings.
And he's throwing and pounding strikes. 32 out of 43 coming into that pitch. So he is getting ahead. He is establishing his pitches on the zone. And that's where he has been so difficult. Now look, we talked about it. You mentioned how the Rangers did not expand the zone yesterday and was able to come back and win. Right now, it's the pitcher that has got the Rangers on their heels.
That's hooked to deep left field, and Mitch Garver has gotten the Rangers on the board. Garver's 3rd home run of the postseason, and the steady vet keeps flying under the radar, but contributing in a big way for Texas.
Well, look at this right here. This pitch is going to be right in there, and that is not a bad pitch. That is not a bad pitch at all. Look how low besides that target. That is just really good hitting. And if you're Merrill Kelly, you cannot pay attention to that. Even though you gave up a run, you made a really good pitch.
Here's strike 1 on Jonah Heim. So it's Garver, who had a 31 home run season in 2019 with the Twins, but has dealt with injury after injury since then. All kinds of frustration trying to get back on the field. But season his opportunity this October.
Man, he went down and got that.
Right? I mean, he continues to do just these subtle, impressive things. We've seen some great at-bats in big spots where he's taken walks. Had one with the bases loaded last night. And he gets the scoring started for the Rangers here in game 2. Heim follows him. And it seems like where there's one, there's the other these days. These are the two catchers for the Rangers. And especially those last couple games of the championship series, more than the guys at the top of the order, until late with what Garcia did, the two catchers were really contributed down at the bottom. A 1-2 to Heim is away.
Well, I don't know if this series will end up doing this, but you know how they talk about basketball play in an 8-point window either way for either team. I think 3 runs or less is going to be this entire series. I think because each team can answer, each team can obviously put up a crooked number.
That hit the bag. Wow! How did Walker still get it? Gold Glover has a gold hand right there.
Got one of his fingers kind of pinched there, but that is an unexpected. You go as first baseman, you're going to feel this with your glove, and next thing you know, he makes that play and saves a base hit. You can see him shaking his finger because it catches him in just total reaction.
Nice play, Torey Lovullo says. Understatement right there on a funky ball. It's like playing against the side of the house with a bouncy ball. One away in the 5th, and Nathaniel Lowe drives this ball the other way. Deep left center field. Back to the track. Gurriel's got room in front of the wall for out number 2. Down to Ken Rosenthal, who's got the home run hitter.
Thanks, Joe. Mitch, Kelly has been so tough. What was your plan against him in that at bat?
Trying to get a ball up, actually. Despite the ball that I swung at, I was trying to see him up. He's working that changeup, cutter, slider, everything down. I don't know. I saw a ball closer to me that I thought I could handle, and I just tried to get it in the air.
How often have you hit pitches that far down?
Not for homers. Not for homers. I got a few singles on that one, maybe a double down the line, but that's a tough pitch to get in the air.
Mitch, thanks very much. Yep. Joe, back to you.
He did so and got this crowd going. Here's the ball into the hole, a diving stop for Domo, but he's got no chance to get Josh Young, who's got an infield hit.
Well, that right there, most people won't understand. What's the big deal? 2-out base hit. You know what that does? That clears the bottom of the lineup and gets the lineup to turn over, either with runners in scoring position now in 2 outs, or obviously Simeon to lead off the next inning. So small things like that add up in games of this magnitude.
Now look at it last night, what they're able to do in the 8th inning. Get a couple base runners, single from Garcia, and a walk from Heim that allowed them to get the big dogs to the plate in the 9th and get the game into extras. So this is looking extra big now after the base hit from Young. Runner at first, tying run at first, and Taveras takes strike 1, a fastball where Kelly gets the call.
And the reason I say that is this is not a good matchup for Taveras. He has struggled against changeups, and I would anticipate the next couple pitches, at least 2 of the next 3 are going to be changeups. He started them off, surprised him with a fastball inner side of the plate. There it is. So you have a guy that has shown you that he cannot stay back, and it's an awkward swing, long swing that doesn't cover the ball.
Tying run at first, go ahead run at the plate. 5th inning. Taveras got off to a hot start in this postseason. Was right up there top of the list in these Rangers as far as offensive numbers first couple series, but has cooled off lately. Still finding his way aboard with the walks. And ahead here 2-1.
Yeah, 2 changeups that missed, and you know that's where he was trying to go after getting strike 1. He just didn't execute. Good patience to stay off that pitch.
Now a 2-1 from Kelly. Fastball that he blinks through. 2-2. Kelly giving the Diamondbacks what they desperately needed after the heartbreaking loss in Game 1. 2 gone in the 5th. His 2-2 pitch is fouled off. This is what they obviously hoped for, but it's what they were confident they were going to get, given the low pulse this guy has, the belief that he's the best guy there is, that he's made for this spot. His pitching coach Brent Strom has helped him elevate. Career year here at the age of 35. Another 2-2 pitch. Tavares goes down to get that changeup. Little tapper back to Kelly, who throws on target to first and ends the inning. Rangers on the board. It's Mitch Garver's 3rd postseason home run. He says as low of a pitch as you'll ever see him hit out. He picked a good time for it. Game 2 of the World Series moves along to the 6th. And a bit of a surprise, Jordan Montgomery stays in the game to face Gabby Moreno, who taps the first one in front of the plate. Easy one for Hine. Just in time down there at first. So 1 pitch after he hits it out, grounds it about 15 feet in front of the plate.
Well, he only has 65 pitches, but it looked like the pitches that he had in the sinker was not, and his fastball combination not great. 5 for 11, but everything else, non-fastballs, he's been 1 for 8 on. So look, it's been the plan all along of the Diamondbacks to be aggressive. That's why you see 65 pitches entering the 6th inning. You rarely see that in any pitcher in today's day and age.
Bases empty, 1 gone. Christian Walker still looking for his first hit of this World Series. I'm surprised given what we were breaking down last half inning, but I guess shouldn't be a surprise when you consider Bruce Bochy's managing, because he has shown a willingness to push his starters a little bit longer in this postseason and throughout his managerial career.
Well, part of that is taking the information, seeing what his pitcher's doing, knowing what his bullpen went through yesterday, knowing the score is only 2-1. It's not like it's a game that he can't come back and not well within reach, but he's got somebody ready.
Walker pops this one into shallow right field. Lowe is backing out there, twisting around and making a basket catch. What looked like would be an easy play was a bit of an adventure.
Well, here's what to look at when you're facing Jordan Montgomery. There's the sinker grip. There's the changeup. Notice it's all coming out of the same slot. Here comes the breaking ball. And when you see it at the plate, good luck. Okay, you got to distinguish what is what. Can I see it coming out of his hand? When he's good, you don't. The changeup, of course, fades away. The curveball has 5 miles different from that. And his usage tonight a little bit up with the sinker usage. And of course, he had hoped to make a couple better command pitches that he's left over the plate, and the Diamondbacks made him pay.
Now, this is really something. It's oscillated from start to start throughout the postseason, and part of his weaponry right now is that you just don't know what version of Jordan Montgomery you're going to get in terms of usage. His first one to Tommy Pham is low with a change. Pham 2 for 2 in this game. Came into the game 3 of his last 29. On this 1-0, outside ball 2.
Well, he throws from that third base side of the rubber, and he's a bigger left-hander that you can't see the ball great, and he's using that angle for the leverage of his sinker against right-handed batters.
Pham down the line, and he's 3 for 3. Ricochets in front of Garcia, who's got a good arm. His running throw is not in time. Pham's got his second double of the day. And after 3 for 29 over the last week and a half, 3 for 3 tonight.
Oh, he's done a nice job just kind of going that way. That one he was a little confused on because he looked at, oh, wait, that went down the right field line. And aggressive with 2 outs to get to second base. worth the gamble in that case, for sure.
Pham to second, and they're going to put Gurriel on intentionally and go lefty-lefty. Montgomery against Thomas, who does have a single today against him, but on the season against lefties, 143.
This time of the year, I don't know how many games have been recorded of late, not going all the way back. Could be in the 6th inning with 2 outs, have no strikeouts.
Here's the throw to second, and Pham, what was he doing? Picked off. Puts a sour note on this sparkling offensive night for Tommy Pham, taking the bat out of Alek Thomas's hands and ending the top of the 6th. After the loss of their son, Larry Thompson founded a Miracle League chapter to give all kids a chance to play the game. And Chevy is honored to recognize his drive and support youth baseball and softball programs just like this one. They got him a new Colorado so he can help even more kids enjoy our national pastime. Marcus Semien, top of the order for the Rangers. Strike one from Merrill Kelly. They're in a 2-1 game, bottom of the 6th, game 2. Paints the corner. No balls, 2 strikes.
You dream of these pitching matchups. You're out there in record time because both pitchers have been fast, throwing strikes. Before you know it, you're in the 6th inning of a 2-1 game that you have the lead. Those are the ideal situations to concentrate and be in that place if this is what Merrill Kelly is all about. And then after the 6th, you hope your team breaks it open and you get a little more breathing room.
Here's his 1-2. Semien takes low. And anytime I hear you talk about a pitcher's duel going deep, of course, Game 7 in '91 comes to mind. You against Jack Morris. And '91 comes to mind in this series as well, because not many people were excited about the Braves and the Twins facing off. It wound up being an all-timer. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. And these two teams, while people rolled their eyes as they made these improbable runs and made this the matchup, it's just got the feeling, and certainly confirmed after Game 1, of a chance to be something special.
Yeah, that last pitch, Semien's going to be. I totally agree with you, by the way. And that last pitch, I don't think Semien's agreeing.
Even though Kelly does, you see him? One away for Seager. Yeah, rarely going to get your catcher reaching across the plate the way Moreno did there, having set up inside and still get the call. Seager 0 for 2 today. Hit it hard as last time. 1 ball, 1 strike. What have you thought of the way Kelly's pitched him in particular?
He's done a great job. And again, we've talked about the way he pitches to the corners and the ability to just keep it on the edges. He's done a great job changing speeds.
Swinging bunt, rolled along third, foul. Now looking back to the last play at the top of the 6th, Pham got way off there, ready to take off the third, and had no chance to get back.
Well, a lot of this information is already predetermined by the runners. They'll tell you when he looks home and then looks back, 1001, 1002, the timing of pitchers, and he just got caught a little bit, to say the least. The timing was a little bit slower, and Montgomery was able to pick it up.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Corey Seager takes outside, 2-2.
Back when, everyone was more in a running mode, that's what you had to do as pitchers. You had to change your timing, change your look, change your cadence. If you didn't, any great base runner and any good coach is going to pick up on that.
Seager down the line foul. And these Diamondbacks in particular, John, as we've talked about, it's a huge part of their game. Dave McKay, their first base coach, he studies it so deeply. And so they do have it broken down to the most subtle details of each pitcher. And I mean every single pitcher. They know all the cues. And they know when they can go. Seager chases a fastball. There's a cutter there. There's a little bit outside, and Seager comes up empty. And so in this 2-1 game in the bottom of the 6th, it's been Montgomery for the Rangers. It has been Merrill Kelly for the Diamondbacks. The rewarding performance sponsored by Capital One. Just one run on the home run from Garver over 5 2/3.
Yeah, one has been super dominant, and that's been Kelly. And Montgomery's just been good enough, and he's kept the team in it. He's gone 6 innings, no strikeouts, and 6 for Kelly.
Carter, backdoor, curveball for a strike. Carter's 1 for 2. It's one of just 3 hits and just 3 base runners against Kelly tonight. At just 71 pitches, very efficient as well. You know, he's certainly loving getting a chance to go deeper into this game. Facing the order for the 3rd time, which is always a question. Is Torey Lovullo going to let him do that? Now let him face Schwarber, Turner, and Harper a 3rd time in Game 6. He got them all out, but that was it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, showing no signs of losing steam here in the 6th.
No, because you got to use your eyes too to see that the home run he gave up, that was flukish. Not to take anything away from Garver, that was an incredible pitch, and so there hasn't been a lot of hard contact. Matter of fact, there's been a lot of strikeouts, and he's doing everything you would want to set the tempo and the tone for the Diamondbacks.
Here's 1-2. Carter can't lay off, and Merrill Kelly strikes out the side in the 6th inning. He's rolling in Game 2 of the World Series. And we're back after a word from your local Fox station. Support America's military and first responder heroes. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. Pitchers duel going in Game 2 of the World Series. Jordan Montgomery got over the hump a couple innings ago, and he's still rolling here into the 7th. Spins a breaking ball low to Alec Thomas. He's on the verge there, John. I don't know if he was going to stay in the game had he not gotten Corbin Carroll to finish off the 5th. They had Dane Dunning ready to go, but Bochy sends him back out there for the 6th, and it's like he's gotten a second wind.
Yeah, again, 71 pitches, maybe not super sharp, but good enough. The contact off of him when he's made a bad pitch with his sinker inside, it's he's paid for it. When he's made his pitches, he's gotten outs.
Yeah, Greg Maddux, who was here last night for Game 1, probably here for Game 2 as well. Got to be proud of this. He's the last guy that went into the 7th inning of a World Series game without giving up or getting a strikeout. Here's a shot to right center field by Alec Thomas, and the Speedsters around second hanging on with a leadoff double. So Thomas, who was put in the lineup against a left-handed pitcher for what is a rare occurrence, has his second hit.
Well, a breaking ball, he stays in there and splits the gap. He had 3 on his mind when he hit this ball, and to go aggressive around the bag is what Torey Lovullo wants his runners to do, and then put on the brakes when you can't get there.
2 out of 3. Killer postseason for Alec Thomas continuing here. He's in scoring position. Diamondbacks looking for some insurance. Evan Longoria is at the plate. Taken inside, ball 1. Now, this is something the Diamondbacks last night, John, could not do. They couldn't tack on. They got those 5 runs over the first 5 innings. They went 1 for their last 18. And the Seager home run doesn't mean anything if they're able to tack on. The 1-0. Longoria hits it by Young into left field. Thomas heads for the plate, and they get the insurance. 3-1 Arizona. Evan Longoria, the veteran, sneaks it by Young at 3rd. And that is going to do it for Montgomery. It fizzles quickly here in the 7th, a double, and then this.
Yeah, that ball was scorched down 3rd base line. Young, we've seen him make tremendous plays. Not enough time to react to that.
It is officially ruled a base hit for Evan Longoria. End of the night for Jordan Montgomery. Diamondbacks have their sights set on tying this series up. They've got a 3-1 lead in Game 2.
Baseman is playing. He's got to protect against a potential stolen base and maybe even a bunt. I know Longoria doesn't bunt a lot, but the depth of his position really was the difference between reaction time. And because he had to play in, Ball got by him.
Here is a bunt pushed by Perdomo, foul. Andrew Heaney comes into the game for the Rangers. First move for Bruce Bochy into that bullpen. That was such a huge part of the story in game one with 6 1/3 scoreless innings. Heaney, a guy who was a starter for a lot of the year. And anytime he's started in this postseason, it's been in a short role. Scoreless inning in game 6 of the championship series most recently. Longoria's at first as the 0-1 comes home. This one Perdomo puts in play. The second goes Longoria. "90 feet at a time." Torey Lovullo's team. But again, with some pop sprinkled in, they get the home run from Moreno. And they got the bottom of the order you're talking about, John. One of the areas you're going to look at head to head. Bottom of the order's told the story for him tonight.
Yeah, they're winning the battle tonight for sure.
Back to the top in Marte. Trying to extend that record-setting 17-game hitting streak to open his postseason career. Bounces it left side. Young sizes it up, steps into the throw. It's a low one that's dug out by Lowe. Low throw, Lowe at first, saving the day.
Well, he knew when he had this, he had to hurry, and just in the nick of time does he get it. And keeping the runner at second base now. One more out away from getting in this dugout, give your offense a chance down 2. Look, a lot of people are going to talk about why did Bruce Bochy leave in his starting pitcher as long as he did. Well, last night the bullpen and all the resources that had to be used.
Carroll.
You're basically trying to steal as many outs and prolong and preserve. I know there's a day off tomorrow, but look, this is going to be this. Nobody expects the series to be a quick one. I think you got to play with what you have and play to the strengths of what you have, and that is in a winning formula for the Rangers.
Carroll shoots a base hit the other way. Longoria is headed for the plate. He'll score without a throw, and Corbin Carroll has tapped on. Diamondbacks up 4-1. And that is going to do it for Heaney, who faces the minimum 3 batters. With the righty Moreno coming up, that'll do it for him.
You don't know how tough the Diamondbacks are? You're about to find out in this series.
2 runs in the 4th. They've added on here in the 7th, something they couldn't do last night. Robinson Foundation is part of the Capital One walk-off program. They donated a grand last night, added to the $750,000 that they've sent to the foundation as part of this initiative. Thanks to that man last night. 4-1 Diamondbacks, trying to make it more and more hard, more difficult for the Rangers to mount another late rally. Getting 2 runs of insurance here in the 7th. Dane Dunning is on to pitch. Moreno at the plate and Carroll at first.
You notice how I talked about the pitchers using the pitch clock? Well, base runners can use the pitch clock too in the way that they time. With 2 strikes, it's more likely now that Carroll will attempt to go with Moreno at the plate. They would love to get one more opportunity of scoring, runner's scoring position. But the stolen base in today's game now has more momentum working towards second than just the static move and then go.
They got 5 guys with a steal. Carroll's not one of them over the first 2 games.
The hardest part in this game for certain runners is when you feel like you have a huge lead and you get back safely, you can get a bigger lead. But they feel uncomfortable. The bigger the lead, they feel, ooh, I'm in no man's land.
To uses 2 get disengagements. Carroll's still not going. And that's just down and away. 2-2 on Moreno. If he were to throw over there again, he's got to get him, or it's a balk, and Carroll gets second base automatically.
You got to go now.
You'd think. Hopping off to that lead, making him feel him whether or not he runs. Not going. Full count. Now for sure. Really. Moreno got things going for the Diamondbacks. A home run to break a scoreless tie in the 4th. His first hit of this series. Their 12th home run this postseason from a guy 23 or younger. That's a new postseason record. There he goes. Here it comes. It's ball 4. Back-to-back 2-out base runners. Teams will travel after this game, either tonight or tomorrow, and then game 3 of the series on Monday from Phoenix. And what will that place be like no matter what? But if the Diamondbacks can hang on here, steal home field advantage, go back there with the series tied at 1. With their first World Series games in Phoenix since 2001. Christian Walker can't lay off, strike 1.
Now, bonus. 2 runs were added on. I told you, pitch a tight game and then have your offense tighten you up by scoring more. Only problem is now you set for a little bit longer. And sometimes it gets you out of rhythm. The bonus is you got the extra lead. The negative is you got to get back out there and stay in that groove.
2 on, 2 out. Dunning to Walker with a 1-1 pitch. Up the middle. Dunning's got it. Walker's hit it hard a couple times, but nothing to show for. Plenty to show for this inning for the Diamondbacks. They score 2 massive insurance runs, and they lead game 2 4-1 as we stretch in Texas. Welcome back on our drone cam presented by T-Mobile to game 2 of the World Series, where it's 4-1 Arizona trying to get this series tied up at a game apiece. And tomorrow, right across the street, big day of football on Fox. Stafford and the Rams coming to town to take on the Cowboys. Other regional action as well. Check for the game in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Also in this area, the National Medal of Honor Museum is the most recent addition to this bustling district, which also includes AT&T Stadium and this ballpark here. It's going to open in the spring of 25 and pay tribute to America's greatest heroes and celebrate all who have served in the armed forces. Great addition to this great area. Merrill Kelly, John, pitching the game of his life tonight, given the circumstances.
He sure is. He started with game 6 on the road in Philly. And now it's continued in game 2 on the road in Texas. You see the line, no walks, and only 1 3-ball count.
He's racked up 7 Ks. He's outside with the first pitch to Adolis Garcia.
We talked about in the open about how important it was for each pitcher to pitch on the edges. Well, it's obviously Kelly has been much better than Montgomery on the edges. And the stats are showing that's a perfect example. When you're pitching at those quadrants, the hitter has so much pressure on him because now he can do so much off that pitch. He can throw that changeup. He can throw the slider.
Fastball up, swing and a miss.
And that's the one area lately that teams have not been able to go to consistency against Garcia. That's the swing and miss hole up in the zone.
Garcia going to use his time. The 2 guys that seemed unstoppable, Seager and Garcia. Kelly's held them to 0 for 5 tonight. Roxon fires 1-2, going back up and missing away. Garcia, who has homered in 5 consecutive games. No home runs tonight, no hits tonight, no walks tonight for the Rangers offense after they had 10 last night. Here's a 2-2 from Kelly. Down to his backside in that follow through is Garcia.
Well, he said his hips are really important.
Yeah.
So are his feet, and they just gave out.
Another 2-2 is perfect to the outside corner, and the 8th strikeout from Merrill Kelly.
Well, when you look at Merrill Kelly, we talked about it, the edges, the bottom of the field goal post, as I talked about, the uprights on the east and west side of the strike zone, and this is how you take care of an offense that can be explosive. And the last one was on the corner again, completely fooled him. It's just when you're in rhythm and you're connected and you've got that arm side fastball, glove side fastball on both sides of the plate, man, is that tough on the opposing team.
The only guy that's gotten to him here in Garver, who hit a good pitch out for a home run back in the 5th inning. Only 2 singles outside of that against Kelly. One gone in the 7th inning. Arizona leading 4-1. Kelly's home with an 0-2. Ground ball to third. Candy Hop Longoria. 2 up, 2 down.
So we talk about the pitch clock being something that speeds everybody up. Well, it works against the hitters when a pitcher's in rhythm too.
He has them on their heels, mowing them down through 6 2/3. And up comes Jonah Heim. One ball, no strikes.
What I mean by that, before the rules came in, the hitter could slow the pitcher down if he was in rhythm. He could take him out of his game and do the batting gloves, do all the not anymore. And it works obviously against the pitcher when he's not in rhythm, because now he has no way to slow the game down and big innings happen. So in a game like right now, you know, the Rangers can only do what they can do is say, we got to get him out of the stretch. He hasn't been in a stretch very often. And nobody's warming up for the Diamondbacks, and no need to.
Wow, gets the call right there. Yeah, he's been in the stretch, John, for a total of 2 hitters in this game. Retired them both. There's 2 on offering to Heim. Torey Lovullo trusting what he's seeing. No reason to touch it. It ain't broke. Double-barreled action in that Rangers bullpen. Stratton and Spores. Heim watches a strike, and it's 3-2. He's retired 7 straight, including 4 strikeouts out of the last 5 hitters. A deep breath and a 3-2 pitch from Merrill Kelly. 7 excellent innings in the World Series. Merrill Kelly, what a night when Arizona needs him most. And the Rangers, after the comeback win last night, turned aside through 7. Chris Stratton comes in, 4th Texas pitcher of the game. To Tommy Pham, the fastball upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. We're in the 8th inning, 4-1 game. Arizona getting 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 7th, and 7 excellent innings from Merrill Kelly in his World Series debut. 1 ball, 1 strike on Pham.
Well, the Bulldog, as he likes to be known, he came up big. Game 6 and in game 2. Big difference is game 6 was elimination game.
Yeah.
Of course, in game 7.
Same feeling though, right? Where it's like, I mean, season on the line literally at that point. But if this goes down 2-0, well, they've done it once, but man, oh man. odds are stacked against you in a big way. Merrill Kelly tonight has put his foot down. 89 pitches, although there were some hugs and some high fives over there, making me think that maybe it for him.
Yeah, I think so.
See him crack a smile.
Well, you don't. I didn't watch him after every inning, but normally pitchers are creatures of habit, and when they're up with a towel and talking to people, they're done. Because otherwise they're sitting down focusing on what they're going to do, and they now have a time to relax and watch the game from a different view than normal.
Well, let's just take another second to appreciate how far Merrill Kelly's come to do what he's doing tonight. I mean, this is a guy who he had to go the junior college route at a high school. Not many teams wanted him, even though he was a good pitcher in high school. Spends a couple years at the junior college level, goes to Arizona State and gets drafted, but in the 8th round, so it's not like he's a big-time prospect. That is inside. Count is full on Pham. He gets released by the Rays after 5 minor league seasons. Never cracks the majors. He's got to go to another country to figure it out. And then comes back here with the unique path of signing a major league contract at the age of 30 to make his debut, to go into minor leagues and then the KBO, back here to the big leagues. He signed another long-term contract with the Diamondbacks. And, you know, given the long story, it's a surprise tonight, but maybe it shouldn't be, because the last 2 years, very quietly, Merrill Kelly's been one of the best pitchers in the National League. Another 3-2 to Pham. And he is 4 for 4. Tommy Pham had 3 hits in his last 29 ABs coming in, and he's 4 for 4 tonight. Baseball gonna baseball. Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? They call that the Heim Hammer.
We've experienced it. Pretty darn good.
Some of our crew members got to take it in. They are currently napping. It's heavy. Gurriel with a man at first. He squares, bunts it in the air, but it'll nestle down. Stratton awkwardly grabs it and throws the first in time.
What a great play. Again, putting pressure on the defense to make great play and good play after good play. Get another runner in scoring position. He had to stab at this and throw it in one motion. Whew. Hard to practice those plays in spring training. I did ask Bruce Bochy if he had to go back in the break, you know, after beating Houston, go back over his infield bunt plays, anticipating that there would be these kind of moments, and he said, yeah, we may have spent a little too much time, because pitchers were starting to get on to Mike Maddox, like, okay, enough.
Though during spring training, Mike brought his brother Greg in to talk with the team about fielding, work on it a little bit with them. And so it's been an emphasis. Little did they know they'd have to put it to work the way they do in the World Series here.
Well, it's easier to field your position like Stratton does when you finish in a good position mechanically, and he does. He's kind of straight line, goes towards home plate, finishes in a good athletic position. When you're falling one way or the other, it's much more difficult to control the center of the field.
0-2 to Alec Thomas outside. Greg won 18 Gold Gloves. What made him such a good fielder?
Well, he finished with his, he finished in perfect position, and he gave up soft contact, ground balls all the time, and he was able to take away the middle of the field. We never had to put a position player back there. So if you think about the shift or the birth of the shift, he controlled the middle, and the second baseman and shortstop could cover more areas and cover that part, because unless it was a line drive over his head, he was in good position to field the bounce ground ball.
Man in scoring position for Thomas, who's got 2 hits today on this 2-2 pitch. Fouls it right off of the mask of Quinn Wolcott.
Yeah, no, I'm all right. Thank you.
This is okay.
Caught the side there. Luckily, the side.
Good? Yeah, I'm all right. No, I'm all right. Thank you.
Yeah, now Thomas takes the ball, and the count goes full.
Well, that's the other thing, the theme this game has been so far. A lot of full counts on Diamondback hitters and only 1 3-ball count on the Rangers. So it's lopsided, kind of controlling the counts and getting into those hitter counts.
Bottom of the order trying to do it again. Payoff to Thomas. We'll do it again. 4 runs on 11 hits in this game for the Diamondbacks. Only 2 of those hits have come from the top 4 in the order. We got Pham with the 4 hits. Thomas has a couple. Longoria and Perdomo both have 1, hitting 8 and 9. Gotten them on, and they've gotten them over to the tune of 3 sacrifice bunts. Last time there were 3 sacrifice bunts in a World Series game was 12 years ago. Cardinals did it against the Texas Rangers. And there's the leader of them all. Could we break that record? Thomas has fouled off a few, earns another payoff, and watches strike 3, sneaking to the back door from Stratton.
And believe it or not, that's the first strikeout of a D-back.
Extra amazing when you consider that they struck out last night more times than they had in almost 2 months. They struck out 14 times in yesterday's game. They don't strike out until the 8th inning in game 2. Pinch hitters coming up here with 2 gone in the 8th. Instead of Evan Longoria, it's Pavin Smith, who was a bit of a surprise to make the postseason roster, but he's had some good moments off of the bench. 1 plate appearance over the first 2 rounds, and then 2 for 2 off of the bench in game 3 of the championship series, and scored the winning run on Marte's walk-off hit. As they talk about how to deal with them, we get a quick word from Loan Depot.
I'm Jay, and this is my home. My first big purchase with help from Loan Depot. To find out what Loan Depot can do for you, call 844-752-LOAN or visit loandepot.com.
Bochy's coming out, and it looks like going to counter. Martin Perez loosening and ready and coming into this game in the 8th. Make-A-Wish Foundation, whose wish was to go to the World Series, were treated to a one-of-a-kind VIP experience. Not just going to the World Series, but getting to meet Boch, meet a bunch of the players. Since 2000, Major League Baseball's granted more than 100 wishes to attend the All-Star Game and World Series. MLBtogether.com to learn more. Martin Perez, the new pitcher, and instead of Pavin Smith, Emmanuel Rivera goes up there to hit. Rivera, who's going to be into the game anyways because he was going to follow Smith and then going to play third, gets the platoon advantage for Lovello here against Perez.
Way off the plate, up and in, down and in are the holes. He will go the other way with fastballs against left-handers.
Third appearance of the postseason for Perez. Longtime starter, longtime Ranger when you go back to the beginning of his career. Bounced around, but has come back here to Texas. And has pitched out of the bullpen in this postseason. Mostly low leverage spots. Trying to keep this 4-1 in the 8th. His 1-1 pitch almost hits Rivera.
And you know, it's a little tougher job for Perez out of the bullpen because he's the kind of pitcher that likes to set the tone by mixing and matching, changing speeds, going in, going away, and sometimes out of the pen you don't have time to do that. And his stuff may not play quite the same out of the pen as it would to start a game.
His 2-1 pitch is high for ball 3. He's only a year removed from going to the All-Star game at the age of 32 last year at a .289 ERA in his first year back in Texas. Here's his 3-1. 3-2 on Rivera. Feathers that changeup by him.
I saw you had a necklace similar to that.
Yeah.
You put it away for tonight's game.
Waiting for game 3, buddy. Blingin. That's a walk, and Rivera's on. Necklace reminds me of the one David Ortiz had fall off his neck in London, straight down the drain, only to be found by a London bellman who made a hanger into a fish hook and went down and got it out of the muck.
Heroic.
Really was. Make sure that clasp is on there good, Emmanuel. 2 on, 2 out, and Perdomo's up. Key guy out of the 9th spot for Arizona in this run. He takes a strike. Takes strike 2.
Well, the Diamondbacks have completely taken the crowd out of this game for the most part because of Merrill Kelly. And it'll be up to the Rangers offense in the next 2 innings to try to get them back. You know, it's one of those games that, and it may not play out this way, but it's one of those games where one side is completely dominated, but they're only up 3, right? I mean, they've in all facets, it's been pressure, 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 and probably could have 6 or 7 runs, but currently a 4-1 lead.
0-2 pitch. Inside, they're out hitting him 11-3. Overwhelming pitching performance from Merrill Kelly. But especially, you don't have to think too far back to know Texas is dangerous late in the game. This is 4-1, but it still feels like a big spot for Perdomo trying to tack on. 2 on, 2 out, and a 1-2 from Perez. It's bottom of the order coming up for Texas in the 8th. That does mean they'll get the big guys up there again before this night ends. Deuces wild in the 8th. 2-2. Just off of the plate, and the count is full.
I don't think Heim was too happy. He's seen some calls on the other side, and he wanted that. Catcher walked out in front trying to get in trouble.
Now the runners will get a head start. On this 3-2 from Perez, Perdomo takes ball 4. The bases are loaded as Pham rounds 3rd with a bad intention right there, saying you better get on that ball. And so the bases are not just loaded, but they're loaded up for Ketel Marte, John.
Well, the Diamondbacks are doing kind of what they got in trouble on yesterday. 0-2 walk, leadoff walk, getting runners on, and that was an 0-2 count to the 9th hitter that turned into a walk. And who knows what that's going to translate into here with 2 outs and they're one of their best hitters at the plate.
Like Maddox out there to try and calm things down. And we've got Ketel Marte with a 17-game hitting streak that he's yet to extend in this game. It's the longest streak to open a player's postseason career already, and it's tied for the longest at any point in a player's postseason career. There's some Hall of Fame players, Manny Ramirez, Derek Jeter on that list. Boy, what a spot for him to try to extend it to 18 and stand alone on that list. Said it last night, say it again here. Carroll's taken the headlines as the hot new young player for the Diamondbacks. It's thrusted them back into contention, but the comeback year that Ketel Marte has had, just as important. Former All-Star. He's found it again here in his 9th year. Bases loaded in the 8th, and he takes ball 1 from Perez. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. MVP of the championship series. Guy that Torey Lovullo has said as the heart of a lion. Grounds one through, base hit center field. Hitting streak extended and lead extended. The throw from Tavares, not in time. A 2-out, 2-run single from Ketel Marte. And the Diamondbacks have a commanding 6-1 lead in game 2.
Goes right up the middle after another Diamondback batter reach base with 2 strikes. Either the walk or the hit 6 times, and the most costly one right there with 2 outs. Marte said, yep, I'm the guy.
And now it's Carroll smacking a ball by Simeon into right field. Perdomo heads home. Garcia's throw not in time, and they keep on rolling with 2 out. It's a 4th consecutive 2-out base runner. And in this game, 5 of the 7 runs have come in with 2 out.
Aggressive early and still aggressive late. Talk about these teams putting up crooked numbers. That's the 3rd crooked number inning for the Diamondbacks, and Texas has 17 of them coming into this game.
More than anybody this postseason. Strike on Moreno. Tell you what, John, I mean, it's a broken record at this point, but these Arizona Diamondbacks, every time you think, okay, they're about to fall down to earth. Unfazed, fearless, and leading game 2 7-1.
Yeah, and we touched on it. I mean, this is the first crushing loss they've had this postseason. They've lost games, not many, only 3 coming into this series, and the first 2 were kind of well in hand and kind of a beat down. In game 5, it was close and then got broken open. So that's the first close loss that they've experienced. And how did they respond? Merrill Kelly and the offense, just relentless pressure.
First and third, 2 away. 0-2 pitch to Moreno is at the top of the zone to get him and finish off the top of the 8th. Second consecutive inning where the Diamondbacks are able to cash in and extend the lead. They get 3 2-out runs in support of that man, trying to make him a winner in game 2. Ketel Marte, the longest hitting streak in postseason history. His first 18 postseason games, he's gotten at least 1 hit, and a big one his last time up. 2-run single to help Arizona break this game open. It's Nathaniel Lowe to lead things off against Andrew Saalfrank, who was a big part of the equation the first couple rounds, but struggled in the championship series. This is a nice soft landing spot for him here, because they still, it seems like, John, trust him, but would love to see him go out there and do it again.
Yeah, he's got to throw a few more strikes. He's a fastball, curveball guy, and certainly that would help getting his feet into the World Series and his confidence going a little bit better.
Here's his 1-2 pitch. Grounded to second. Quick hands Marte for the first out of the 8th. Hey, Greg's got the game tomorrow. He's here taking it in with his son Tate, who's a good ball player himself. Turk has been at all the games. Olympic legend, softball legend Jenny Finch. And Luca, fresh off a drop in 49 last night. Mavericks 2-0. He's been at all the games too. 1 gone in the 8th. Here's Josh Young. Well, Saalfrank, part of this bullpen makeover over the final 2 months, and probably the least likely character to be part of this. Well, called up in September. This is not a big-time prospect, but he gets called up, does enough in the minors to justify that. But in 10 games in September, does not give up a run. And they've been searching for a shutdown lefty. They're saying, holy cow, what do we have here? And they've carried him in the postseason. Backhand by Rivera. Ball finds the guy fresh into the game, and he gets Young. 2 gone in the 8th. And don't forget tonight's World Series postgame show. Kevin Burkhardt, before joining Greg, calling the Cowboys game tomorrow, has his guys, A-Rod, Poppy, and Jeter. It's going to stream live right after the game, exclusively on the Fox Sports app, foxsports.com, or the @MLB on Fox social accounts. 2 up, 2 down in the 8th, and a strike on Taveras. Strike 2. That's a Texas lineup that had scored 26 runs in its last 3 games. Has just 1 run on 3 hits tonight. 7 innings out of Merrill Kelly. Saul Frank taking the baton from him. It's the bottom of the order here.
Well, the Rangers know. I mean, every time you get into a series, you know it's going to be a grind, and they've been part of one of the biggest grinded victories against the Astros. You know what they know? They know how to win on the road.
Yeah. In fact, I don't know if they know how to lose on the road.
It's been amazing. Both teams doing a great job. And
backhand stab Perdomo. Walker able to get there. Sparkling defense on both ends. Perdomo to get to the hot shot ground ball, and then Walker, who is as good as anybody in the game over there at first, falling towards home to catch it. Rangers saying hang on. They may want to take a look.
Texas is challenging the out call at first base.
Why not at this point? But this is going to stand. It'll be confirmed, right?
As long as that cleat caught that base as he was stretching. That's the one unknown. Right here it looks like it does. See, it's how on top of the bag he gets that, and then whether or not the foot comes off the bag. This will be a good view right here. Oh, it's so close. It's so close to whether that foot was on the bag or not.
I'm going to say at the very least it stands, and that replay review is sponsored by Zoom.
After review, the call in the field is confirmed. The runner is out. Texas has 1 challenge remaining.
Well, Saul Frank, nice bounce back inning in his World Series debut. 1, 2, 3 on 3 ground balls. All Arizona here in game 2. 7-1 they lead, out hitting the Rangers 13-3. It's been an emphatic response really in every phase after the 6-5 extra innings lost last night. Walker's the only guy in the lineup without a hit. 0 for 4 today and 0 for 8 in this series. You know his teammates would love for him to
I'm telling you, you'll see the whole dugout light up, not to mention himself.
Guy that's had a career of waiting to join the party. Got to the majors, but played just 60 games over his first 5 years. So he was with the Orioles, and that's when Chris Davis was in his prime. So he got there, but then was blocked by Davis. Didn't play at all. And then he got on a carousel one spring training and was bouncing from one team to the next. He's got a line drive base hit into center field. Walker does join the party. His first hit of the series comes here in the 9th in game 2.
You know, that feeling can translate into the rest of the series. We'll just wait to see, obviously, but He hasn't had many of those feel-good feelings and that connectivity of that crack of the bat and the ball getting rewarded. It's a game of failures, and sometimes when you chase results, you chase it so much that he gets out of your comfort zone and certainly mechanics. And when you feel it like that, it puts a smile on your face.
Chase Peterson here, oddly, going to pinch hit for Tommy Pham, who's 4 for 4. You could see it over there in the reaction in the dugout, as you mentioned. They're thinking the same thing that you think he might be feeling, which is here we go, because they've seen him when he goes. He can carry him.
All year he's been a monster and been tough sledding in the postseason, to say the least.
Peterson pops this one out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, so Walker finally gets his chance when Chris Davis is out, but never really does stick there. And then spring training, John, 2017, he goes from the Orioles, where he's blocked by Chris Davis, to the Braves, where he's blocked by Freddie Freeman, to the Reds, where he's blocked by Joey Votto, finally to the Diamondbacks, who had Paul Goldschmidt. So he's got to go to AAA. He wins AAA Player of the Year, but it doesn't matter because Paul Goldschmidt's in the way. Finally, just when he's thinking he's going to throw in the towel on those big league dreams, maybe go play in Japan, Arizona trades Goldschmidt. And at 28 years old, Walker gets his first shot. 5 years after he made it to the big leagues, he finally stayed in the big leagues. Second at bat of this postseason for Peterson. One in the division series. Got him at the deadline from Oakland. "3-2. Big old bounce. Simeon will go to second, just in time to get Walker. Series shifts to Phoenix on Monday right here on Fox. Game 3. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And it's going to be Max Scherzer for the Rangers, his 3rd start of the postseason. How about this Brandon Pfaadt character, the rookie for the Diamondbacks, who had a +5 ERA in the regular season, below 3 in the post. In Game 7, he owned the moment in Philly.
Yeah, golly, has he been awesome and fun to watch. The development of his year has gone down a few times. They've put him down to work on things. He worked on things. He came up and he had to pitch huge games. He's got electrifying stuff, and now he's putting it all together at the right time.
Tell you what, but I'm excited to get to Phoenix and see that environment at Chase Field.
Crazy.
It's been a long time since they've had a game like this. 22 years since the last World Series game there. It was the epic Game 7. Luis Gonzalez off Mariano Rivera. A good game for Gurriel. He's extended his own hitting streak to 7. Knocked in a run. On this 0-2 from Perez. Reaches out, flips it into center field. That's going to dunk in for his 2nd knock.
Oh, their 2-strike hit and 2-strike man on base. That has been the theme of the night.
The center fielder.
Over 150 kids took part in a special World Series play ball event at the Texas Rangers Youth Academy this morning, led by MLB play ball ambassador Coach Ballgame, who is a great guy. More information on how to get your child involved is at playball.org. If your name's Coach Ballgame, how can you not be a good dude?
Yeah.
Thomas here with 2 on and 1 out. This is one of the moves from Torey Lovullo tonight. One of the decisions he had to make. Do I play Thomas against the lefty? Do I go with a platoon matchup like he's done more often than not? Wanted him in there mostly for the defense. He's gotten him 2 hits as well. Bouncing ball to the middle that Seager gobbles up for out number 2.
Yeah, that's really the story. I mean, without Thomas, they're not here. And that huge home run he hit in Arizona, but they really rely on his defense. This is a big outfield, as is Arizona. Big outfield, and that outfield, even though they don't have great arms, they cover a ton of ground, and they valued that.
Yeah, it's a perfect, I mean, we talk about them being the perfect team to take advantage of the new rules. The way they're constructed is also the perfect way to handle Chase Field. It's Rivera swinging and missing. We talk about teams, you know, the Yankees getting left-handed sluggers to use the short porch and right. Well, Arizona needs guys that can track the ball down in the outfield. All the room there is there, and they've got that now.
I used to love shagging in Chase Field.
Yeah.
BP, that's how I did all my running. The bigger outfield, the more gaps you had to cover. I hated running just to run, but when you're chasing a baseball, it's a lot more fun, and you're going to go a little bit farther than you would. Plus, you can rock some home runs there. Good fence height.
For sure. It's like you on the elliptical. You don't like being on the elliptical until somebody gets on the one next to you and you can outlast them.
Just outlast them.
Right? That's all you got to do.
That's it until they go 60 minutes.
Ground ball, base hit left field, and Emmanuel Rivera adds to this bottom of the lineup dominance in this game, driving in 2. He's hung up between first and second, but doesn't care about it one bit. 7 of the 9 Arizona runs have come with 2 out, and most of it has come from the bottom of the lineup. 3 outs away from tying up the World Series in a game apiece. T-Mobile, all Arizona, 9-1 they lead. 7 innings from Merrill Kelly. The offense has come to life. Marte has set the record with an 18-game postseason hitting streak. Bottom of the order, 5 out of 10. A couple walks in there. And the 2-out hitting, those back-breaking 2-out runs. Top of the order to the plate for the Rangers in the 9th. Saul Frank going to stay on after he went 1-2-3, despite some hard contact in the 8th. There's more hard contact down the line, hooking, and foul. Hey, this is a surprise our truck's rolling for you, Johnny, on this date. A world championship.
Hey, it means something good finally.
Well, they've been showing a lot of bad moments.
Yeah, a lot of. This was a fun moment.
What do you remember most about that night?
To be honest with you, I was in the absolute worst position you could be in, because if we don't win that game, I got to get ready to pitch another game 7. And obviously you want to win that game, but you can't get so emotionally involved. And it was 1-0 game. It was like, and so when it happened, everyone goes crazy because, you know, there was a lot of pressure on us. We hadn't won in the previous World Series that we came out on the losing end, so winning that one took a lot of weight off of getting there and not getting it done.
Ground ball, base hit center field. Simeon's first of the game. You guys sure played a lot of 1-0 games.
Oh my, played a lot of 1-run games. I don't know how Bobby did it.
A hit for Simeon, the first for the Rangers since the 5th, only their 4th total tonight. To bring up Corey Seager. This is how you want to face Seager in the 9th inning. Not up 2 with a man on, up 7 or up 8. Into center field he goes, over the head of Thomas, who runs it down. We mentioned Arizona's not phased falling behind in a series. Texas not phased going on the road. Historically good in this postseason on the road. They've tied the 1996 Yankees for the longest road winning streak. 8 in a row to open this postseason run, and not against slouches, John. They went to Tampa and took down the 99-win Rays. To Baltimore, took down the 101-win Orioles. And then what they did in the championship series in Houston. Tortovelo's going to make a change here to Frias. With 1 gone in the 9th, Frias comes on looking for the last 2 outs.
Series by the numbers. There are 7 World Series games, but it only takes 4 wins for the World Series trophy. This is the 119th World Series. Let us count. This may take a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You telling me we weren't scared of that guy as kids? Sesame Street. Bringing us back in the 9-1 ninth inning. Luis Frias on the pitch. Looking for the last 2 outs of this one. And a pinch hitter going up there for Texas. Robbie Grossman pinch hitting for Evan Carter.
He's got a 5-pitch mix. Not saying he's going to use it in this situation, but 96 fastball and sinker, slider, curve, and change.
Frias, the guy that signed 8 years ago and has finally started to establish himself the last couple of years, back and forth between AAA and the majors. 5th game that he's pitched in this October, and he's given up just 1 run. And there was a strike. And now strike 2. Game 3 of this series on Monday night. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 in the desert. Chase Field will be rocking. Brandon Pfaadt, the rookie pitcher, going to take it against Scherzer. Back door to get Grossman. 2 gone in the 9th. Adolis Garcia, part of the equation in this game has been keeping Garcia and Seager held in check. Those guys 0 for 7 combined. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Oh, that's an impressive kickoff. How in the world? How in the world did he do that? And how in the world did he catch it?
Well, we've seen him catch the ball with his
goodness.
bare hand that ricocheted off of the bag, and now he catches
the
most unpredictable pickoff throw of all time.
I have never seen that. That is actually pretty incredible hand-eye coordination.
Keeping him on his toes over there. I don't know how Walker's not breaking a smile. Simeon goes, and will take second. This Arizona team that lost 110 games 2 years ago. About to take a win in the World Series. A lot of these guys still around from that 2021 team. There was not a whole lot of fun going to the park each day, but then the youth starts to show up last year. A lot of guys that were really close coming up together. They brought the veterans into that fold, into that chemistry. Garcia's aboard here on ball 4. Having more fun than ever here. Game 2 of the World Series, leading 9-1. So yeah, you said this guy, I don't know how he caught it. I don't know how he caught that one earlier in the game. I don't know how he caught this one. The same look at the ball that hit off of the base. And then what is this flying over here?
That's unbelievable.
Bongarver. Counted for the scoring with his home run back in the 5th. That made it a 2-1 game, but the Diamondbacks 2 runs in the 7th, 3 runs in the 8th, 2 more in the 9th. squashing any chance at a second consecutive Rangers comeback late. This is the first at-bat with a runner in scoring position in this game for them.
And that's what I was talking about earlier, how the game was relatively close, but it seemed like a mismatch, and then, of course, they broke it open. And look, a loss is a loss. I talked about all the one-run losses. It doesn't matter in baseball, but sometimes you get beat. You know you get beat. And the Rangers flat out got beat tonight in every area. They know it. They're going to go to Arizona, and like they've done all postseason, whenever there's been something delivered their way, they've shown a resiliency as the Diamondbacks. That's why I think this is going to be such a unique series and not one that ends quickly.
Punch, counter punch,
yeah,
over and over.
And that's the toughest losses you're going to get. And then we talked about the Diamondbacks and their history, even though they don't care about history. It's a new club. You were talking about 3 times in a row in game 1 that had happened to them.
Third consecutive road game, John. Third consecutive road game in the World Series where they had that exact thing happen, giving up a 2-run home run in the 9th inning to tie it and then losing in extras. Tino Martinez, then Scott Brocious, now Corey Seager. And trying to respond the same way they did in 2001. That is to come back from those gut punches to win the series, win the whole thing. Two. Shot to third and caught. Rivera's got it, and game 2 goes to the Diamondbacks in a resounding way, 9-1 to tie the series up.
Well, every road team that comes in the World Series knows they've got to win one on the road, and then take care of business at home, and they never come back. But more than likely for this series and the Diamondbacks, they did what they had to do after a crushing game 1, and they're going to get on a plane and they're going to feel good about going home into their fan base.
These teams that have taken eerily similar paths to get here set up this improbable matchup. One of the things they've done similarly is take haymakers and come on right back. The Diamondbacks do it again tonight after the crushing loss last night. 9-1, they win game 2. And it is on to Phoenix, tied at a game apiece. What more could you want?
I mean, just think about it. Nobody had beaten Eovaldi and Montgomery, and they were 1 pitch away from beating them both.
Yeah. I mean, after striking out 14 times in yesterday's game, they struck out just twice today. Our friend Joe Sheehan lets us know that they're the first team in a World Series game to strike out fewer than 3 times in 13 years. Got to go back to the Rangers doing it against Bochy's Giants in 2010. Amazing alone.